Ryan Saunders earned that job.
Yes, yes.
Frankly, nothing to do with his father. He earned the job, his level of basketball knowledge and expertise, but the relationship with players on the court and off the court, you could see it at the game. So congrats to our friend Ryan Saunders, and you are darn right that Flip is watching and proud of you. Also proud,
beautiful
me
day
and my Cubs, because they're going to take care of business tonight against the Phillies. They haven't lost consecutive games at Wrigley. Please.
I'm sorry.
Help me.
That's going to go down tonight. Enjoy baseball next.
I'll see you tomorrow, Nagandi.
All right, Kevin and Sage, the friendly confines, the frigid confines. Wrigley Field feels like late fall for the Phillies and Cubs showdown this evening. And boyhood baseball buddies Kris Bryant and Bryce Harper, now Major League Baseball superstars, center stage for their respective teams. Major League Baseball on ESPN. Our telecast is presented by USAA. The weather is 51 degrees, feels like about 46. And if you're on an airplane tonight, little knee knocker coming in to O'Hare or Midway. Gusts up to 35 miles an hour. As you can see, the American flag is blowing in. There are no other flags out there because of those wind gusts. We got a couple of first-place teams here. Phillies have won 4 in a row, and the Cubs, off a bumpy start, find themselves in first place in the National League Central. Really good game last night. We got Eduardo Perez, Tim Kurkjian. I'm Karl Ravech here. One of the reasons the Cubs have bounced back, Kris Bryant, and you can assign a number of different reasons for his hitting surge. Tell us a few of them.
Well, at the end of April, he had 3 homers and an OPS under 800. Since then, he's got 8 homers, an OPS well over 1,000. 3 reasons. Number one is his shoulder is better. Number 2, he's using an axe handle bat, which Eduardo later will tell us the benefits of that. And number 3, Joe Maddon told us today, he's just a little bit more quiet at the plate, fewer moving parts. He looks like the MVP of the league from a few years ago.
8 homers last 15 games, and again, just says he's a lot smarter, too, if you're looking for reason number 4. Smartest guy in this booth is right there. And Eduardo. All right, so Harper. I mean, we've seen the Phillies literally 5 times in 6 weeks. What have we seen from Harper that has got him back into some of that good form?
Well, we've seen the gradual improvement of him being able to lay off some pitches up, forcing the pitchers to bring it down, and the numbers are starting to get to where Bryce Harper is used to seeing it. But in this ballpark, this is where he has always performed. You see the numbers there, but it's impressive what he has been able to do. The on-base percentage, yes, remember when Joe Maddon walked him like 48 times in 42 plate appearances? Yeah. That just tells you why those numbers are good, but he has a presence about it in this ballpark. And tonight, he's going to have to be facing Senor Quintana from Colombia,
who's been really good lately. In fact, the Cubs pitching has really carried this team. His number's 4-3 with a 3.68. You throw at his first start, and he has been lights out. On the other side, maybe the best pitcher on a Philly staff that has Nola and Arrieta. This guy, Zach Eflin, has been phenomenal in his last 4 starts, and he's a bullpen helper. He's got 2 complete games already. Blankets for sure. We need them tonight. We'll see if the ball flies out. ESPN's telecast for Major League Baseball, presented by USAA. This Memorial Day, join us in honoring our nation's fallen heroes. Big night of baseball. We'll kick it off from Wrigley in just a bit.
Find inspiration in every mile. The Mazda CX-5 with Turbo. Feel alive.
Get Macy's Memorial Day furniture and mattress super buys, like the Nevio Sectional, $2,229. Tribeca Queen Bed, $499. Plus, get a free adjustable base with select mattresses. Reserve now before the sale starts Wednesday.
This would be awkward if you were sharing these nachos with anyone but yourself. Nachos are now a meal with your choice of double the seasoned beef or slow-cooked shredded chicken, plus a medium drink. The $5 Grande Nachos box, only at Taco Bell.
Tonight, you landed enough Wyndham Rewards points to land in that oh-so-alluring place in your screensaver.
See you soon, Hammock.
Jealous! Tonight, La Quinta. Tomorrow, you triumph.
This is Jerry. Jerry has a membership to this gym, but he's not using it. And he has subscriptions to a music service he doesn't listen to and 5 streaming video services he doesn't watch. This is Jerry learning that he's still paying for this stuff he's not using. He's seeing his recurring payments in Control Tower in the Wells Fargo mobile app. This is Jerry canceling a few things. Booyah. This is Jerry all set to watch the next game. This is Wells Fargo.
The only thing better than this bourbon are the friends you share it with. Jim Beam Black, the world's highest rated bourbon. Their words, not ours.
Guys, how frustrating is it to find a great pair of jeans? They never have the right color, style, or size. Too tight here, too loose there, too long here. I have the perfect solution for you. M. Taylor Custom Jeans. Stop spending hours trying stuff on. Download the free M. Taylor app on iOS or Android. Standard jeans use just 2 measurements. M. Taylor Custom Jeans use 7 different measurements to give you the perfect fit. Design your own custom jeans for just $79. Choose from hundreds of styles. Delivered right to your door. Download the M. Taylor app. M. Taylor measures you digitally and is 20% more accurate than a professional tailor, all from home.
It was so easy to be measured by M. Taylor. It took less than 30 seconds. This is definitely my favorite pair of jeans. They fit perfectly.
To get custom jeans, shirts, or suits, your phone can measure you right now with free shipping and a money-back guarantee at just $79. Get your new favorite pair of jeans today. M. Taylor, available now on the Apple App Store, Android, and mtaylor.com.
Here inside the ESPN MLB studios in Bristol, Kevin Connors joined by Doug Glanville tonight. We've got a fabulous doubleheader on tap, and we will take you back out to Wrigley Field. We'll also keep you updated throughout the night with highlights from around the majors, including this one, Doug, A's and Indians, and not too many guys better at leading off than Frankie Lindor.
Yeah, well, devastating injury early on to have a late start this season, but the two-side athlete, this guy does it all.
14th career leadoff homer, 1-1 game. Meantime, speaking of leadoff, what a difference it's made in Atlanta since the Braves moved Ronald Acuna out of the cleanup spot to leadoff. In the 10 games, Doug, that he's been leading off for the Braves, 4 home runs. He's batting .341 with an 11.08 OPS. What's the big difference?
Well, you know, sometimes just that shift in the lineup order, just getting a different perspective makes a difference. So the fact is, he's a guy that can be a threat right out of the gate.
We'll see him in the second part of our doubleheader coming up. For now, let's send it back out to Wrigley Field. Karl Ravech, Tim Kurkjian, and Eddie Perez.
Hi, Kevin. Doug, thank you very much. Look forward to it. This, of course, is like a made-for-Doug Glanville series with his 2 former teams there, the Phillies and the Cubs, on the field here at Wrigley in a chilly night. But a couple of first-place teams, and for Gabe Kapler, Philly has won, and he will acknowledge even last night. I mean, the numbers suggested in the 9th inning they had an 8% chance to win. And they still rallied in the 9th, and then JT Realmuto hit a home run in the 10th, and that got them their 4th win in a row. Lineup looks like this. Segura hits in the 2 spot. He actually moved Harper into the 2 spot for 1 game, said he liked the way it looked. But when you have Hostkins and Realmuto, it's hard to hit Segura in the 3 hole because you got 3 righties in a row.
Yeah, and the way Gene Segura has swung the bat ever since coming from the disabled list, this is a tough out. He puts the ball in play, especially against good velocity. He makes things happen.
And you think about the pitching staff for the Chicago Cubs. Darvish has looked better. Lester and Hendricks have been outstanding, and so has this guy.
Right, the whole staff. First 24 games, the rotation ERA was .393. The last 21, it's been .291, and this guy's right in the middle of it. The strikeout rate has gone up. The walk rate has gone down. That's a really good sign.
Javier Baez tweaked his right ankle over the weekend. He didn't play last night. He is not in the starting lineup tonight. Addison Russell plays short. He could be used as a pinch hitter off the bench. Andrew McCutchen leads things off. Fires away at the first pitch. It is fouled back. Strike 1.
Keep an eye on Quintana also, because he's been very good armed side in the last 5 starts. Means keeping everything away from the right-handed hitters.
That one misses. The man calling balls and strikes tonight, longtime veteran umpire Hunter Wendelstedt. 50-degree night for Hunter and the rest of his crew. Chris Siegel, Mark Carlson, and Vic Harapaza from first to third. That one's high. 2-1 from the Cubs' Quintana. Joe Madden told us earlier today there's not a change in philosophy when it comes to pitching. They're not necessarily throwing more strikes or doing anything differently. They do appear to be less inclined to walk guys. That one gets the top of the zone than other teams. Not afraid to pitch to contact. A lot of guys are. And he said they're just pitching well. .13 career leadoff home runs for the veteran McCutcheon. This one to left. That's where Schwarber is for the first out of the night.
So Quintana's 91.5 average velocity with the fastball, Eddie, but he's got that quick arm action, so the ball jumps a little quicker. As a hitter, is that what we call sneaky fast?
It's that, and also that he hides the ball well from the right-handed hitter more than even the left-handed hitter. He keeps it hidden behind his body, and that when that quick action from that arm comes in, that 87 appears to be 91, and that 91 appeers to be 94.
Gene Segura had a big hit last night, kind of a bleeder over the head of Rizzo, which changed the game in the 9th inning. Segura's in the middle of an 11-game hitting streak, which is the longest by a Philly this season and the longest active streak in baseball. And that is a fair ball down the line past Bryant, and it takes a carom, which is going to allow Segura to go into second base with a stand-up double. So Gene Segura continues to hit really well for the Philadelphia Phillies. That's his 10th double of the season.
Gene Segura, his job is to get on base. He's got very good speed. Chokes up on the bat. Pitch comes in, and he's able to pull it on the ground. When all this launch angle stuff is going around, Gene Segura is one of the players that continues to beat the ball on the ground, using his legs and still finding holes around the infield.
And here comes the right fielder, Bryce Harper. A walk machine. He is trailing only Andrew McCutcheon in the league. He's got 35 of those. McCutcheon 36. And he has had a field day at Wrigley Field. Fouls that one off, and the Phillies scatter within that dugout. 18 games. He's reached base safely in every one of those games at Wrigley Field, and on base of 512.
And of course, May 5 through 8 of 2016, Joe Madden walked him 13 times in 19 plate appearances and said, he's not going to beat me.
The pitch he has struggled with, the high fastball, 92 miles an hour, and now behind 0-2.
Keep an eye on this location here. It's usually up and away, but this time just up works, and you see how that bat head gets under the baseball. This has been his hole for, I want to say, not only this year but the last couple years. If you're able to execute up in the zone with good velocity, more often than not, you'll find a lot of success against Bryce Harper.
And again, a fastball to his pitching side versus his glove side. Quintana's been really good at that. Will he stay up there?
And Ravi, we've talked about this in the launch angle era. So many pitchers are going up in the strike zone. Justin Verlander said, elevate and celebrate, and it works depending on that bat angle, and it's worked against Bryce Harper. He's trying to make that adjustment and has the last few days at least.
Last time we saw the Phillies, Harper's defense was the difference. A game in Philadelphia delayed by rain, but a couple of sparkling defensive plays in a win. Breaking ball no good, 1-2.
Okay, now he showed him down and away with that slider. Now the MO is to come right back up with that 93-mile-per-hour pitch right on that top line of the zone.
3 homers, 4 RBIs in the 18 games at Wrigley, hitting .310 in his career here. Segura's on second after a double. McCutcheon flew out to left.
too much of the middle of the plate. Bryce right now with a 1-2 count. He's anticipating anything, looking hard, adjusting to anything soft. Good Raleigh fingers. Mustache working there, not mentioning the goatee. Again, the report is you can elevate up again with the fastball or slider down and away.
Good take by Harper, who's been very effective this season for the Phillies. He's hitting .229 on the year, but when you get runners in scoring position, just shy of 300, hitting .293. He's 12 for 41, 21 RBI.
He's laid off some good off-speed pitches. Time to go fastball up. Went with the off-speed. Give him credit.
Down on strikes.
Give him credit on that one. And Bryce Harper strikes out for the 11th consecutive game. This time a 76-mile-per-hour slider. You see it right there off the hands. Takes a lot off it. Remember, the fastball was at 93. This time, this one catches him way ahead.
And now one of the better hitters in baseball, Rhys Hoskins, steps in. Another guy that challenges the pitching staffs. He will see a lot of pitches. Harper, McCutcheon, wear you out. So does Hoskins with how many pitches he sees.
Usually works a deep count, and he crushes that ball down in the strike zone. Quintana's going to have to be careful here.
4.66 pitches per plate appearance. Eleven homers, 36 runs batted in. The 1-0.
Remember, before the game, Joe Madden told us the reason he walked Harper 13 times in a 4-game series is that Ryan Zimmerman behind him in that series was not swinging well. But he goes, we can't do that now. They got Rhys Hoskins, and then he said of JT Realmuto, I don't like him either. Like, I don't like to face that guy.
And JT Realmuto last night made him pay, not only with a big base hit, but also the home run.
Hoskins did Realmuto did everything last night. Defensively, offensively. Hoskins now ahead 3-0.
But that shows the respect right there, Carl. 2-0, you go breaking pitch in the first inning, where now you're pretty much telling him, I'm not giving you anything good at all to hit.
Yeah, so he's seen almost 4,900 pitches since his debut in 2017. So this is clearly a pull hitter. 70, almost 75, 3/4 of the time. Rhys Hoskins will pull it to the left side. Well, his catcher may have cost him a strike when he dropped that ball, and a 4-pitch walk to Rhys Hoskins. JT Realmuto coming up. We said it at the studio.
And Ravi, this is not a replay of the 9th inning of last night's game. Doug Glanville, Gary Sanchez does it again.
Well, we know the streakiness of Sanchez, but it comes in power bunches, and that's why he's so dangerous.
3-run homer in the top of the first inning, Ravi. The Yankees out to a 3-0 lead on the Orioles.
Sanchez's 14th career homer against the Birds. That's his most against any opponent. And now Realmuto hit the go-ahead home run on the 10th last night, and a chance to put him up early here in this one.
This is why the Phillies are so much better offensively than they were last year. They have Hoskins to protect Harper, and now they have Realmuto to protect Hoskins. It's a completely different middle of the order than the one last year.
All-around game. JT last night, he had a big tag in the 5th inning, scored the tying run in the 6th, the final run of the 3-run rally to tie it later, and then the 10th inning homer.
Guys, and it doesn't get any easier because probably their hottest hitter is on deck in Cesar Hernandez. And last night he again had a great night offensively.
Wonder if you're a pitcher, Eddie or Tim, what you're gleaning from this early Hunter Wendelstedt strike zone. We've seen a couple within the K zone that have been called balls on the bottom half.
It just tells me he must be wearing thermals and he must be nice and warm because it's cold out there.
That's a breaking ball on 2-0 on 2 straight batters. Just another reminder, there are no more fastball counts, and our pitchers today are going to spin it more often than they're going to throw that fastball these days.
Realmuto 6 homers, 29 RBI, hitting 277. This one's center field, and Albert Almora is there, and a little basket catch. High base strand 2. Cubs coming to the plate when we come back to Wrigley.
My experience with USA Air has been excellent. They really appreciate the military family, and it really shows.
With all that USA offers, why go with anybody else? We know their rates are good. We know that they're always going to take care of us.
It was an instant savings, and I should have changed a long time ago.
It was funny because when we would call another insurance company, they would say, oh, we can't be USAA.
We're the Weber family.
We're the Tennies.
We're the Hells, and we're USAA members for life.
Get your USAA auto insurance quote today.
Can you convince my dad to ditch his expensive wireless plan?
Well, right now you can get 4 lines for $100 a month.
Tell him I want unlimited gigs.
No problem.
Mobile hotspot?
Done.
How about this brand new phone?
Free.
I've always liked free.
Ready to switch?
Sure.
Switch to Boost and get 4 lines, each with unlimited gigs for $100 a month. Plus, get 4 free LG Stylo 4 phones. All on Boost's super reliable, super fast nationwide network. Boost makes it easy to switch. Switching makes it easy to save.
Great one who summons me. I stand by my oath, loyalty to wishes 3.
Excuse me, if I was going to talk to myself, I could have just stayed in the lab. Use your big boy voice.
Where is the lamb?
Disney's Aladdin, rated PG.
Phillies and the Cubs, 0-0, bottom of the first. Yeah, we got some wool caps on. Still hockey season. The St. Louis Cardinals rained out tonight, so a bunch of those players are heading over to watch the St. Louis Blues play their playoff game. For the Chicago Cubs, Joe Maddon, he can go wool cap, but he kind of likes the baseball cap with the hoodie pulled over it. And he certainly likes the way that Schwarber, Bryant, and Rizzo have got things going for him.
Yeah, they've really swung the bat well. Chris Bryant, we'll touch on him later, but Anthony Rizzo has turned it on. Yesterday went 3 for 5 with an RBI. He's slashing .309 right now with 5 homers, 13 RBI in the last 14 games.
That plus 58 run differential on the Dodgers with 65 better. This guy doesn't give up a lot. Zach Eflin, especially his last 4 starts.
And 9 walks, 50 in 56 innings this year. He's not afraid out there. He doesn't pitch away from contact like so many other pitchers do. He gets hit hard and comes back and does the same thing and says, try to hit it hard this time.
Big boy Zach Eflin, 6'6", 215. The Padres drafted him in high school from Oviedo, Florida. Schwarber swings at the first 2 and a couple of souvenirs for the fans that are here.
And that's going to be part of their scouting report. Be aggressive with Eflin. He does not walk a lot of guys, as you said, Tim, 9 so far in the season. Only Zach Greinke and Hyun-Jin Ryu, which has the best rate of all, have walked less per 9 innings.
Breaking ball misses. You think about Zach Eflin at home. Decent numbers, 3-1, a 2.2 on the road. His ERA is about 3.54. He came over in a 3-team deal. That one just missed. Remember, Jimmy Rollins was sent to the Dodgers. It was all part of a Dodger-Padre-Philly deal. They saw something in Zach Eflin that they are beginning to now see realized. On the ground. Slight shift. Cesar Hernandez throws out Schwarber. Another update from Kevin in the studio.
We're happy with Doug Glanville. Mark Canha, since coming off the DL just over a week ago, he's been outstanding.
Yeah, this pitch is up in his eyes, just showing the top hand ability to get right on top of the ball with power.
2-run shot made it a 3-1 game, but the Indians answer. It's Carlos Santana.
Well, Santana brings the discipline and the pop, especially when he's on fire.
8th home run of the game. 3-2, bottom 3. Ravi?
3rd homer in the last 4 games for Carlos Santana. And speaking of homers, Here's Chris Bryant. First pitch slider away. Big weekend against Washington. 5 of 13. He had 3 homers. If you didn't see it on Friday, he homered in the 7th, and then in the 8th, and then in the 9th.
He and J.D. Martinez, only 2 players ever to hit a homer in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning of the same game.
Decent company. Say to yourself in the same breath as J.D. Martinez as a hitter, you're good. 2-0 right back up the middle in the vacated hole at second base with the shift on, and another aspect of Chris Bryant's sudden hotness at the plate.
Well, this is definitely going against the numbers. 2-0 count. You're expecting Bryant to be able to pull this ball like he usually does on the ground. Instead, has the discipline to hit it where they are not. Takes a base hit right there.
And now Anthony Rizzo's first chance, the first baseman tonight. Get the sense that most of the guys kind of would prefer the 82-degree temps tomorrow. And for Rizzo, hitting one out to right will be a big challenge with the way the wind is blowing. The first pitch from Eflin is down. 11 homers, 31 RBIs. You take a look at the right field at Wrigley.
I will tell you this, and as you notice in the foul poles, which usually you have the Billy Williams and Ernie Banks numbers, the flyers, the banners, better said, they are not there because of the wind, but the scoreboard in right field and the scoreboard in left field have made a big difference in this ballpark. Blocking down, knocking down some would-be potential fly balls with the wind blowing in. And now those are homers because they block the path of the wind. So it's still doable.
Wonder what type of impact, if any, this weather will have on Rizzo. He's been dealing with kind of a sore back. He missed 4 games. Came back over the weekend with a solo shot on Sunday, but this is not great weather for the cranky back.
And I wonder if the weather is affecting Zach on the mound. 2-0 falling behind on Bryant, now 3-0 falling behind on Rizzo.
And how would the weather affect that?
Well, the dryness of the, you know, and you always see pitchers in this temperature ask the umpire when they go up to the mound, may I lick my fingers around the rubber?
Rare low pitch call for a strike from Wendelstedt. 3-1. Quintana also threw a bunch of pitches in the first. Take a look at our 3D K zone, and if it goes through there, you'll see some pink light up on your screen, and that didn't go through there.
South of the border, you could say.
By Quintana, a walk here in the first inning, and men on first and second. Phillies weren't able to score. See if Wilson Contreras, who comes to the plate now, can capitalize. Think about the National League. Are you looking at the 2 leading candidates to get to the All-Star game as catchers in Realmuto and Contreras?
You could, but don't forget you also have Yadier Molina, which will take a lot of those votes also.
He had 4 hits in the game Friday night against the Nats. A .321 average, in the first pitch from Eflin in there for a strike at 95 miles an hour.
And this has been a pleasant surprise to be able to get this bat back after last season, just a subpar offensive season for him. They've been able to rest him a little bit more. Victor Caratini has, coming off the disabled list, he's been able to play a little bit and give him a rest. And the numbers are showing it.
Double play candidate. As athletic as he is, and as a good base runner as he is, hard ground ball to this infield with Segura and Cesar Hernandez. Phillies are looking for a double play. This guy can move around the bases, though, when he gets the head of steam going.
He can, and you're talking about probably the 2 fastest catchers in all of baseball. Right there right now. One behind the plate and one hitting.
Justin Bohr told me about Realmuto. He said you watch him run and you say that can't be a catcher. No catcher can run like that. That's how well he runs. And Contreras, as you said, Eddie, runs pretty well too.
That's what the scoreboard view looks like, as they are still waiting to hang a number up there on all the games that are going on. We continue to update those with Kevin back in our studios and Doug Glanville. 1 out, 1-2. 2-2, and that was a rare walk, as you mentioned, only the 10th season. Anthony Rizzo.
And that last pitch was a good purpose pitch. Let's see if it opens it up now for the slider down and away. Threw it hard in. Realmuto asking for the ball up, but let's see if that's exactly what he asked for. Slider away.
And he missed by a lot. 3-2.
And you see with the runner at second base, Kris Bryant, JT Realmuto asked for the ball up, just a decoy to see if Bryant would give him location or not.
You running here, Eddie? 3-2?
I do not. Not with Jason Hayward on deck. I don't run. And they
runners are going. That one is hit on the ground. They get out of the double play. Bryant just came around third. He's coming home. And Kris Bryant never stopped running. The Cubs go on top 1-0.
They stay out of the double play by starting the runners, and just another reminder what a great base runner Kris Bryant is. He's not the fastest guy in the field, but he scored from second on a ground ball here.
Yeah, we asked Joe Maddon a couple years ago, who's your best base runner? And without any hesitation, he said Kris Bryant. And this is why. Once he sees contact, he recognizes it, and he's his own coach. Ken Butterfield at third base, the third base coach, he was like, stop, stay there. No, he had it. That's his timing, his clock. That was on him.
Great read by Bryant on the bases. He gave a look over his shoulder. As soon as he saw Segura commit to throwing, he kept motoring, and he puts the Cubs up 1-0.
Brian Butterfield at third base. I said, Ken, excuse me on that one.
And now Hayward with Rizzo at second.
Remy, it's so encouraging to see somebody run the bases really well, because I say it all the time. Unfortunately, the base running is the worst I've ever seen in all the years I've covered, and to see somebody who has such a good feel and understanding for that play.
Well, that was an athletic baseball play. And you're preaching to the studio as well. You know, Glanville gets driven crazy by the base running and trail runners, etc. Just a heads up play by Bryant.
And this is a team that's not afraid to make outs on the bases by being aggressive. We all know about Javier Baez, how exciting he can be when he's on the bases. Contreras the same way. But Kris Bryant, smooth and smart.
And Eflin, a rare second walk in an inning. And it may be that he's having a hard time gripping the baseball. You got Realmuto going to the mound. So as they go to the mound, let's go back to the studio. And I know, Doug, that had to make you feel good just watching somebody as aggressive as Bryant and smart as Bryant.
Yeah, I actually fell out of my chair with enthusiasm for just watching great base running. But Bryant has done it his whole career. Last year he was a little bit down, but when you look at the metrics of his ability to go first to home, second to home, and first to third, he's always been at the top of the charts. And that's an example of having great instincts, not hesitating, and don't dismiss the angles that he took around the bases. That was critical to have a straight line to home plate. Excellent job.
Yeah. And let's not dismiss the idea they were running on the 3-2 pitch either. He doesn't get obviously close to home if they're not running.
But that's classic Joe Maddon, old school baseball guy who loves the way we used to play the game.
Watch how he cuts third tight. Doesn't open up that much, and he was coming in a straight line because he was on the verge of stealing third. Perfectly done right there.
Also speaks to his health, which we've talked about as well. You get the shoulder affects your ability to swing. When you don't feel good, you're not doing anything like that as aggressively as Bryant just did it.
It's such a great sense of time and place. Scott Rowland used to be that way. Scott Rowland was not the fastest guy in the field, but he was the best base runner on the field every night because he knew what he was looking at.
I'll tell you who was really good as a Cardinal, as a teammate of mine, was Albert Pujols running the bases. Smart. And we know he is not one of the fastest.
Larry Walker could run, but he was a great base runner.
Albert Almora 1-2. Here's a guy that started off really slowly and has completely turned things around. In fact, since the 25th of April, he's batting a team high .347. Only 5 others in the league have been better during that time. And Eflin's pitch count goes up to 27. First 21, he was hitting sub 200, and since then almost 350 with the power and everything else. Is it possible that Zach Eflin's going to walk 3 guys in an inning?
9 coming in, 3 in an inning. That doesn't follow.
He's walked 2. Bryant, who scored, singled. Rizzo and Hayward both aboard by the walk. Gabe Kapler had counted on Eflin to take him deep into games. Moore calls time.
He hasn't been able to throw the slider for a strike, and hitters recognize that quickly. They sit on the fastball. Hunter Wendell sit behind the plate. It's been pretty tight also on the corners.
3-2. That's another walk. Wow. Zach Eflin has 3 walks in the first inning. You could not have predicted this, and that's going to get a meeting from the Philadelphia Phillies pitching coach. First time he walked 2 in an inning this year, and now he has walked 3. And the bases are loaded in a 1-0 game. I know you like to say it, but every time you go to the ballpark, you don't know what you're going to see. This would have been like the last thing you would have predicted.
Especially with the wind blowing in. You expect to hit it as far as you can, as hard as you can. You're going to get it. You're going to have to beat me and the wind.
And our conversation with Gabe this afternoon, what makes him so good?
He's fearless.
He's not afraid. Somebody hits a double, he'll throw the next pitch to the next guy in the same place, and maybe he'll roll over, but he doesn't walk guys.
He pitches to contact. In this inning, he has not.
No. Daniel Del Scalzo's got a chance with the bases loaded. There you go, strike 1. He was in the middle of the excitement last night. A triple scored on an error in the 8th inning. In there for a strike.
2 great pitches, both off-speed pitches. Been able now to throw them a strike against Descalzo. He's going to need that pitch to continue to be effective, at least to last in this game.
1 career grand slam, and put a big at bat early in this game. 1-0. Will it stay there? It does. They leave the bases loaded, so they minimize the damage. Bryant's base running puts the Cubbies on top, and we're hanging a number.
Gatorade Zero. All the electrolytes, 0 sugar. Get more out of Zero.
They made the original hot.
Ooh, hot stuff all over my nachos, walking like a taco, driving over potholes, hotter than a pot roast, fingers on my hot chips, red-handed, come on man, I'ma need some chopsticks. I want
the original. Now it's hot.
It's either the assurance of a 165-point certification process, or it isn't. It's either testing an array of advanced safety systems, or it isn't. It's either the peace of mind of a standard 5-year unlimited mileage warranty, or it isn't. For those who never settle, it's either Mercedes-Benz Certified Pre-Owned or it isn't. The Mercedes-Benz Certified Pre-Owned sales event, now through May 31st, only at your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer.
It's time for MLB Pitch, Hit, and Run, the official youth skills competition of Major League Baseball. Sign up today and play your way to the national finals, and you'll get the chance to compete during the 2019 MLB All-Star Week in Cleveland. Sign up for free at pitchhitrun.com.
Geico makes it easy to get help when you need it, with licensed agents available 24/7. It's not just easy. It's having a walrus in goal easy.
It's a walrus! Ridiculous!
Yes! Nice save, big guy! Good job, Duncan! Way to go!
It's not just easy, it's Geico easy.
Duncan, stay up. No sleepies.
Quintana, Lester, Hendricks, 45 walks in 36 games started. Hamels in that group as well. Their turnaround this season certainly can be attributed to their pitching, and there have been some encouraging signs from Darvish lately as well. There was a big showdown last night, if you will, between Darvish and Jake Arrieta, who, in a sense, Darvish basically replaced here in Chicago. It was a great standing ovation. We'll get into that a little bit later on here for Arrieta, as the fans recognized how significant Arrieta was to their success from 15-16 World Series title team. It was a good moment. Now Cesar Hernandez leads things off, the second baseman. Eddie made the point. He's probably their hottest hitter, and you see he's got more hits than anybody else. Slow roll at a third. Bryant fields it. Fires across the diamond to Rizzo for the first out. So, of course, there's the preseason prognostications that come out, whether from individuals or from some types of analytics. And Pacoda, which is one of those analytics, projected the Cubs to finish like last place in the Central Division, if not second to last. And one of the reasons that they projected them to do that is because the Lester, Hamels, Quintana, Hendricks, Darvish group, you see what their projected ERAs were relative to their actual ERAs on the right-hand side of the screen, and they've all outpitched those projections. And again, that's what led to the conversation with Joe Maddon about, are you doing anything philosophically different? And look, Lester's having maybe the best year of his career.
I think the concern was having so many older type starting pitchers. How are they going to hold up over the long run? We'll see about that. I must say, boys, I'm always a little bit confused. Baseball is the one game that is so great you can't predict it, and we're trying to predict what's happening for at the end of the year and what's happening 5 years from now, when we don't know what's going to happen 5 minutes from now.
Right.
That's the ultimate beauty of the sport, is we don't know what's happening next, and yet we insist on telling everyone, here's what's going to happen this year and 5 years from now.
And I'm telling you who right now, who are the ones that are applauding this. It's the older pitchers around the league and the agents, because that's one of the things that a lot of teams use, the analytics, to project older pitchers and what they're going to be. Well, these guys are defying all those projections.
Scott Kingery, who's in the lineup, and as Gabe Kapler told us earlier, look, if we get a chance to play him and he produces offensively, we're going to get him in the lineup. You look around the field tonight, you're looking at probably the two most versatile lineups, with guys that just play multiple positions. Ben Zobrist isn't with the Cubs right now, but Kingery is one of them. And his story is a fascinating kind of baseball story as he gets punched out. And Quintana picks up strikeout number 2. Back to our studio for another update.
Guys, Dodgers at the Trop for just the second time since 2007. Doug Glanville, former outfielder. You want to explain to me what happens here?
Well, hits off the end of the bat. A lot of English on that ball. Garcia overruns it, but Heredia assumed Garcia was going to corral it and then doesn't take the right angle and then turns it into an extra base extravaganza.
1-0 Dodgers on top. Kershaw on the mound of the Trop. Meantime, Nationals Mets. It's the young star Juan Soto.
Yeah, Soto was only hitting about 228 coming into the game against righties, but he's finding that power stroke.
29th career home run. Ravi goes 410 feet.
Kevin, thank you. Every home run goes 400 plus. Everyone.
Average home run this year is 400 feet. I mean, seriously.
Mistaking that Rays game. Tampa's starting to hear the footsteps of the Red Sox. Forget the Yankees, but they're starting to hear the Red Sox as well. Giving extra outs to the Dodgers when Clayton Kershaw starts. Recipe for failure. Our guys will continue to update that as Michael Franco steps in. And now behind 1-2 as the helmet flies off.
He got a huge hit last night, of course. He hits 8th for this team. He's basically the most productive 8-hitter in the league this year, and it just speaks to the length of this lineup. This guy's hitting 8th.
So far, a much more efficient inning for Quintana. Trying to punch out Franco. He won't chase it.
Love what he's doing, throwing that curve ball, slow curve from the same arm slot, and then throwing the fastball up. Try to get those swings and misses.
And Eddie, with an 8-hitter, it's just so important to get him out here so a pitcher leads off the next inning. But you got to be careful with this 8-hitter because he can take you deep.
Yeah, this isn't the prototypical guy in the 8th spot. Even if you go off speed, he just pointed. You see Contreras point at the pitcher saying, it doesn't have to be a perfect strike down the middle. Get him the chase.
Six and 26 when he hits 8th this season. He's got 7-28 overall, but those numbers there from that 8th spot, as Tim said, the best in baseball. And he's a heck of a glove at third baseman. He's got the highest fielding percentage among all qualifying third basemen in baseball. Way out in front of that, popped up. This one towards the Cubs dugout, and it gets into about row 6. Bare hand souvenir for a baseball fan.
Gutsy with the weather. I'll say in the high 40s right now with the wind chill.
Right center field. Anybody going to get to that one? Hayward is there, and he is under it to make the catch. A 1-2-3 inning for Quintana. Addison Russell leads things off for the Cubs when we come back.
Oh, no, he didn't. Oh, yes, he did. Let's go Mets.
Rivalries are tough.
Go Nats! That's not what this says.
Saving money with Geico
What is?
is easy. Geico, proud partner of MLB.
There we go.
This Memorial Day, start your summer off right in a new Chevrolet.
Oh, wow. time to upgrade.
You guys outdid yourself there.
I'm going to go and get a Chevy.
An exciting summer begins at your Chevy dealer. And now during the Chevy Memorial Day sales event, get 0% financing for 72 months on these select Chevy models. Or current GM owners can get $2,750 total cash allowance on this Traverse. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
It's race time in Monaco.
Grand Prix presented by Mother's Polish. Sunday at 9 a.m. on ESPN with an encore on ABC.
Coming up next, San Francisco, second game of our Tuesday double dip, Braves and the Giants. And then tomorrow, ESPN Plus, second game of their 4-game series, 9:45 Eastern Time. We invite you to start your free trial now. Download the app or go to ESPNplus.com. You can watch the game anywhere. The secret sauce in the ESPN Plus is just the amount of valuable content you get. The one baseball game a day, but so many other great features from former players and great players as well. Kobe Bryant's there, Peyton Manning. Have you dialed into your ESPN Plus app yet for the content?
Yeah, my son hooked it up.
He did.
He's 25. He knows how to do these. Whenever I run into a technological problem, which is probably 3 times a day.
So can you do that right now,
have my kids help me out. Or I find an 8-year-old in the neighborhood.
Can you get the Plus app up right? Just
no,
curious.
I'm not doing it now.
Under pressure.
Way too much pressure for me. Forget it. We'll do it later. As soon as I study it a little bit longer.
And you call it 8-year-old.
Yeah.
Phone a friend.
I have to fly my son in from San Francisco. Jeff, help me.
What do you need, Dad? How big? How important? How big a problem? Just need to get on the Plus app. Tonight, it's the Rockies and the Bucks on the Plus app. It's an interesting division as you jump off of the Pirate conversation. Most people think that between the Cubs, Cardinals, Pirates, as Russell rips one in front of Andrew McCutchen, it gets down for a hit. And the Brewers, it's going to be sort of a streaky season for all of them. And if one can maintain a hot streak longer than the other, they'll have a chance to put separation. But hard to imagine that any one of those 3, and I have the Pirates because of their pitching, any one of those 4 pulling away greatly.
I certainly don't see it. And you talk about streaky. All of those first 4 teams have had a really good stretch and a really bad stretch so far. And that's why I think this one's going deep into the season with multiple teams.
And one thing to also add on to that is we talk about just the 4 teams. There's a great bunt right there by Jose Quintana moving the runner over. But you look at the Cincinnati Reds in fifth place. They have a run differential of plus 24. That's second best behind the Cubs in that division. And the Pirates are at a negative 39. Their pitching has kept them there. Their offense, if you take Josh Bell out of the equation, is still in need of some help. Milwaukee Brewers are at a plus 14. The Cardinals are at a plus 20. It's pretty impressive what the Cincinnati Reds have been able to do.
Yeah.
Still, they need to hit more. They need Joey Votto to be the Joey Votto that we saw a couple years ago, and we're not seeing that.
7 games back. The Cincinnati Reds,
they're pitching well.
They are 21-26, and some of their young players, if you haven't seen Nick Senzel play, I mean, he's legit. There's so many good young players across Major League Baseball. So many. Back to the top for Schwarber behind 0-1. Sky high. Everyone's kind of looking around at each other. They give way to Segura, the shortstop, but he makes the play on a tough play. We'll send it back to Kevin and Doug.
Yeah, and Ravi, moments ago in Pittsburgh, Trevor Story off Chris Archer. Brian Reynolds, Doug, should have had this.
Yeah, ball. Got a little bit in the wrong spot by the wall. Look how close this is. He jumps up, tips off the glove, gets the position, but he's in the wrong position.
The 11th,
too short.
Yeah, 11th home run of the year for Story. 2-0 Rocks on top.
All right, Doug. And Kevin, thank you. Reynolds has been a terrific player for them. Good bat. Bryant, and he blew one right by him at 95. So Quintana and Eflin in their second innings a little more aggressive in that strike zone, throwing strikes, locating a little bit more. All right, hitting instructor Eddie. So Joe Maddon says Chris is a little quieter. What does that mean as you watch him here? What's that mean?
Watch the bat, how quiet it is. Before, he used to be moving it around a lot. Now just resting it on the shoulder, and then from there he can go and be aggressive towards the ball. And he also has a stiff front side with a bent knee. Gives him flexibility not only on his quickness on the inside part, but also good extension away.
Joe must have said the word quiet 5 times today in discussing how important this is. Paul Molitor had the most quiet approach. Mike Piazza's hands were, the whole thing was so quiet, and then just pow to the ball. And that's what Chris Bryant's doing a better job of, certainly in the last month.
I was really confused by that. I thought he was trying
to tell me to be quiet.
Eduardo to be quiet. Then he kept bringing up these things, and he just kept saying quiet. What about Schwarber? Quiet. What'd you tell Schwarber? Quiet.
Well, you have to understand, Joe Maddon was my first hitting instructor in minor league baseball. So when I first signed with the Angels, he was there in Boise, Idaho, waiting for me and say, okay, let's start hitting.
He taught you the B hack, right?
He taught me the B hack.
A hack's your good hack. When you don't have that, you use your B hack.
Sure. 2-2. Bryant, another sky-high one. The wind gusting. Hoskins moves a little bit to his left and then has to reach back over his head for the out. Bryant retired. It's 1-0 Cubs.
I'm Catherine. I am on Match. I'm looking for someone to hang out with and experience new things. It's so much more fun when you do it with someone.
Looking for a real relationship?
And I want to experience life with someone, have fun, and watch football.
Check out Match right now for free.
Why settle for ordinary when you can have extraordinary? At Touch of Modern, watches don't just tell time, they change the way you spend it. Bags are thoughtfully designed to never slow you down, and gear won't get in the way. And coffee tables are also refrigerators, keeping you at the center of the party. All it takes is a touch. touchofmodern.com.
Get huge savings on clothing for the outdoors only at Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Like Redhead Trailhead cargo shorts starting at under $20. And Worldwide Sportsman Angler shirts starting at under $20. Your adventure starts here.
Find inspiration in every mile. The Mazda CX-5 with Turbo. Feel alive.
What's going on? It's a 3 p.m. slump.
Should add a P3.
Oh, yeah.
Need energy? Get P3 with a mix of meat, cheese, and nuts.
Whip out the SPF.
You're gonna thank me.
Because it's Memorial Day weekend, and bookers are out here skipping and gliding and steaming and eating dip. Memorial Day is coming, so book a place to stay and be a booker at Booking.com.
We're back. ESPN's telecast of Major League Baseball, presented by USAA, is brought to you by Mazda. Feel alive. City of Brotherly Love. Amy and her camera located inside the old scoreboard here.
There she is.
One game rained out tonight. That was the Cardinal game. Zach Eflin takes the ball 1 from Quintana. It's the City of Brotherly Love playing in the Windy City. That's in there for a strike.
Phillies are staying at our hotel.
I thought I saw.
Got on the elevator yesterday.
I thought that.
Zach Eflin came on. Aaron Nola came on.
That's shallow. Hayward dives and he makes the catch. Jason Hayward, one of the best defensive outfielders in the game, with a web gem.
Well, after Mookie Betts, this is your best defensive right fielder in the game, and he just proved it again.
Well, let's say it this way. Best right fielder in National League. Him and Nick Markakis also very good. Great jump. Right field. Stays down low. Keeps the ball under the lights. And is able to make a nice play. Playing shallow with the wind blowing in and with the pitcher.
A little bit of a risk-reward play, isn't that? I mean, that sneaks by him. You've got a pitcher on second base with nobody out. A couple of risk-reward plays this game by the Cubs. The Bryant base running and the Hayward aggressiveness there, and they both have paid off.
That's always a Joe Madden thing, though. If you're doing something in an aggressive manner and you got the right idea, he's okay with it.
Guys, with the wind blowing in the way it is, I'm surprised. Jason Hayward just made this play, a beautiful play. Zach Eflin, the pitcher, was up, but he's playing very deep right now with Andrew McCutchen. Now, you would think that he would play at least 5 to 10 steps closer, as the wind would knock down anything hit over his head.
Eddie, I agree, but Joe Madden did tell us before the game that the ball is flying no matter what. The ball is cutting through the wind no matter what. And we asked him, what's that about? And get into that later, but he thought maybe the baseball had something to do with it.
I get it, but 30-mile-per-hour gusts right now. Remember those Ginsu knives? Might need one of those tonight to get through this one.
Those things would cut right through a tomato, and you wouldn't even know the tomato was cut.
Screams infomercial.
You cut a tin can. Spell Ginsu for me. Good pitch from Quintana. Strikes out McCutchen. We send it back to the king of the Ginsu in the kitchen, Kevin Connors.
Those were a lot of fun to watch, Ravi. Doug Glanville played 155 games in left field in his career. It's been a rough night for left fielders, Doug, including Dwight Smith Jr.
Yeah, I kind of didn't know where the wall was. And once he had the glove action, it hit the edge, missed it, and then ran into the wall and cost extra bases.
And then speaking of razor sharp, how about Clint Frazier? How about the 28th home run the Yankees have hit against the Orioles this season?
Yeah, not much of a follow-through there, but enough to get it out of the ballpark.
6-0. Yankees lead this game. Bottom 3, guys.
Good night, everybody. 6-0.
The Orioles have allowed 99 homers this season. The 1976 Orioles allowed 80 the entire season. And we just passed the quarter pole. They're on a pace to hit way over 300, over 300 homers, which of course would be a major league record.
The 28 home runs that the Yankees have hit have come in 10 games against the Orioles. Last year, the Orioles were a pain in their butt, but the Yankees hit 28 in 19 games.
That's a lot of noise coming from that batter's box, and I don't know how Severino is going to be able to withstand an entire season with all that noise being barreled from opposing hitters.
There's Segura, who's looking at something while he's waiting for a pitch to come in. You see his head kept moving. That's a 4-pitch walk there from Quintana. All right, so what did you just say? So Severino, who of course pitches for the Yankees.
The catcher for the Orioles.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the Yankees and Luis Severino. The Orioles catcher. Yeah, that is a lot of noise. On Sunday Night Baseball, the Crew's going to be in St. Louis. The series finale, the Braves and the Cardinals at Busch. We'll kick things off at 6 Eastern time on ESPN with Baseball Tonight's Sunday Night Countdown. Memorial Day weekend, Eduardo Perez going to grace us with his presence in the Baseball Tonight studio. And then for those of you who are Tim Eduardo kind of fans, you can follow them cruising up Route 84, the Mass Turnpike, as they get set for the Red Sox game on Memorial Day.
That'll be fun.
Stalkers could be out on the pike waiting for Tim and Eduardo to roll by.
Eddie's driving.
Buckle up.
So Harper steps in 0-1.
Remember the location of that first pitch. Up.
One down, but
that
he misses.
one was a mistake. Contreras wanted that ball up. You go there and you miss in the strike zone there, and Bryce Harper will make you pay. See Contreras take a couple steps forward saying, do not do that again.
Two and one. There have been, of course, a lot of swing gurus that have tried to diagnose whether it's Bryant or Harper, whatever superstar finds themselves in an early season slump. There are a lot of people that have opinions as to what it is that the hitter can do, whether it's an axe bat for Bryant, a quieter approach. The player has their own opinion and idea. That one is right down Broadway at 93 to even it up at 2-2.
Looking for something soft and gets that fastball right down the middle. I like what he just did there with that practice swing. That's the approach that he should take. Soft and through, keeping the top hand facing up, bottom hand facing down through the swing. Steve Garvey used to do that in his prep back in the day.
Palm up, palm down. We were talking about that before the game.
Harper right on the ground to second, fielded cleanly by Descalso, and he'll throw out Harper 0 for 2 tonight. Bottom third coming up from Chicago. We'll see Rizzo, Contreras, and Hayward.
Tonight, you landed enough Wyndham Rewards points to land in that oh-so-alluring place in your screensaver.
See you soon, Hammock.
Jealous. Tonight, La Quinta. Tomorrow, you triumph.
Gucci Guilty, Par Homme, and the new Parfum.
Through the AT&T network, edge-to-edge intelligence gives you the power to see every corner of your growing business. From using feedback to innovate, to introducing products faster, to managing website inventory and network bandwidth, giving you a nice big edge over your competition. That's the power of edge-to-edge intelligence.
Hi, my name is Rick, but everyone calls me The Rick. When I'm on the treadmill, I watch ESPN Plus on my phone. It's $4.99 a month, and you get a free trial for 7 days. Personally, if it is free, I will try it. Guys, this is not good for my knees.
Wrigley Field, Chicago Cubs offense, almost 5.4 runs a game, best in the National League. On base percentage currently sits there at .345. That is best in the National League. Bryant, Rizzo, Almora's been red hot. They're .796 OPS, again a league leader. You got a bunch of guys with double-digit home runs, and one of those gets set to step to the plate as we hit the bottom of the third inning. Eduardo Perez, Karl Ravech, Tim Kurkjian.
As you said, Ravi, 4 guys with exactly 11 homers.
This one is way in, and coming hard is Kingery. It's going to be a challenge, his first time at Wrigley in center field, but he's there to make the play. Here's another guy with double-digit home runs, Timmy, and Wilson Contreras.
And he is so strong in his hands. Every time I shake his hand, I think, oh my goodness. Willie Mays has the strongest hands of anyone I've ever met. Mike Piazza's second. Matt Holliday's third. Sandy Koufax is fourth.
Matt Holliday's third. Wow.
On the hands?
Travis Hafner fifth.
What about Johnny Bench?
Johnny Bench. Sorry. I'm sorry.
What?
I wrote down the wrong list. Johnny Bench is second after Willie Mays. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I knew. Can I start over, please? Okay, Willie Mays 1.
All right.
Johnny Bench 2.
Okay.
Mike Piazza 3. Matt Holliday 4.
Yeah,
Sandy Koufax 5. As far as biggest hands or most powerful hands, I have to drop Travis Hafner off the list. Sorry.
He didn't know.
Sorry, Brock.
All right. All right. Can I do the rest of the game, please?
Jury's out.
You have to understand, this is going to bother Tim for the entire week.
Where is the list? Is this there's the list here?
It was in my head this morning, and then I left off the greatest catcher of all time, Johnny Bench. What a disgrace.
Oh, hold on. I think Bench is on line 2. Eddie, we may have to call Johnny, get him on this telecast.
Might have to.
What is wrong?
Oh,
sorry.
Especially with JT Realmuto from Oklahoma catching right now.
Sporting the all grays, too. Kind of a new look behind the plate as Contreras hits this one into shallow center. Kingery, no one's going to get it. Falls between all three, Harper, Kingery, and Cesar Hernandez. And that, I think, speaks to Eddie's point about why are these guys playing so deep.
Just does not make sense. If you can hit it over an outfielder today, hats off. That's on the pitcher. But I just do not understand with the way the wind is howling. And I get that the scoreboards knock something down, but here, right now, when the ball is in the air for that long, there is no reason why something should fall in front of you with the conditions that are going on tonight.
I think it's a good opportunity to perhaps bring our guy, Doug Glanville, who, of course, played the outfield in this building on nights like this, and ask him what the challenge is. If you looked at the review of that play or the replay, you'd see Kingery actually, who's not a center fielder. He took a step back, then he froze, then he came in. And I'm not even suggesting it was his ball, but you take another look at it, and it was a hard ball for him to go get to. Hayward hits this on a line. Harper went back. He comes in and makes the catch. We need help. Let's throw out a lifeline here. Bring Dougie Fresh in. So blow it up for us, Dougie. Explain the challenges these guys are facing.
Yeah, I mean, well, you have a couple challenges, just the nature of being in the Windy City and Wrigley. So you have all the elements, but also just the focus now analytically about not getting beat deep. There's so much priority now placed on playing deeper and not worrying as much about the balls hit in front of you. So there's also a point of emphasis that also goes with the weather conditions. They're willing to give up those balls in front. So Harper, once again, if you're playing deeper, then you should know that first step doesn't have to be back because you're already guarding against it.
So how do you as a player square with the analytics? You've been out there. You know what the wind is doing. You know how hard it's going to be for somebody to hit one over your head, and yet the numbers or someone saying you got to move back, Doug.
Well, there's two things you do. You make the adjustments with the weather from the positioning, and also your first step jump has to consider that also.
Into center field. And Kingery fires back in, so a single for Almora.
And another thing, and I would love for Doug to stay on, is when I played with the Cardinals, Jimmy Edmonds always told me, he said, this is the toughest place to play center field at night. Not only because there are no lights behind any of the outfielders. Remember, all the lights are on the rooftops between line to line. And when the ball comes towards you, it looks like it's the dark side of the moon. If you take your eyes away from the baseball, you might lose it, especially at this time of night.
Yeah, and there was another field before Atlanta moved to their new ballpark. They had the same challenge, the pole-to-pole emptiness. So there's a lot of factors, and you add the fact that the wind is coming into play and the low lights that you might be battling. Wrigley is extremely difficult.
All right, Doug, back in our studio with Kevin Connors giving us the updates, and as he's now discovered an awful lot more than just the updates. 1-0 to Del Scalzo, and that slider in there for a strike. Realmuto drops it, but no advancement from Contreras or Almora.
Guys, one way of looking at the balance also of the lighting is you can see the shadows of the players in the outfield. You can tell where there's more lighting or not. Andrew McCutchen, you can see more of his shadow on the left side of him, and Bryce Harper on the right side of him. Most of the major league ballparks, you don't see any of that.
Popped up, tough play. Franco goes out. He calls it. Segura calls him off. And Gene Segura makes the play. Anytime the ball's in the air, it's an adventure. It's kind of like a Tuesday night game with Eddie and Tim.
Gatorade Zero. All the electrolytes, zero sugar. Get more out of Zero.
Wandering through secret hills and telling stories round the grill. From lazing out on peaceful docks to raging to a band that rocks. You never know just where in life Corona cans might take you now.
Seen the far side of a mountain, swallow the sky. As you travel through the valley, as you're speeding.
The 2019 Infiniti QX50. Luxury should be lived in. Lease the all-new Infiniti QX50 for $379 a month.
Yeah. Noah! I'm up.
Your arm tired yet?
No.
You good?
Kevin Connors, Doug Glanville in studio. The Dodgers have won 14 straight games in which Clayton Kershaw has started. Doug, he worked around a leadoff walk with pure filth in the second.
We showed all his pitches here, the cutter, the slider, and then the big bending curveball, all on the black, perfectly located.
Dodgers a 3-0 lead in the fourth inning as we send it back to Chicago.
Not only that, we got a lefty dominating here in Jose Quintana. And if you can tell time, Jose Quintana can do it with the strike zone. Watch this. Against Bryce Harper, you start at the 11 o'clock hour, then you move to the 2 o'clock hour. Right here, you can go to the 3 o'clock hour on this pitch. Inside strike 3. But then if you want to go down, you can go down to the 6 o'clock hour. He's going around in circles, and my friend Jose Quintana's got it going on at the 9 o'clock. It's hard to look one spot against Quintana when he's this effective.
Yeah, he's got to try the 7:15 local. See if he can dot that. He's pitched really well after he allowed 2 men to reach base in the first. He's been real quiet since then. Quintana, first pitch, and that one is ripped foul.
And every pitch that he throws is with a purpose. Right there, that first pitch. Inside part speeds up Rhys Hoskins' swing, makes him look in. Now let's see if he continues to pound in off the zone or if he goes soft away.
So with Hoskins being a pull hitter 3/4 of the time, that's why you get Descalso, Russell, and Bryant all over there on the left side of the infield. Anthony Rizzo, lonely man over there in between first and second.
And Quintana that pounds the ball so much on the inside part, you would think that right-handed hitters, when they do go to right field in the air, it's more jam shots, broken bats, a lot of base hits that fall in front of right fielders.
Big time power from this guy who's a big dude, and he fouls that one off the screen.
You know, during these shifts, Ravi, I've talked to a lot of first basemen. Eddie, help me here. And their number one concern, since they're so far off the bag, is getting to the bag in order to catch the throw from the infield. So they're literally sprinting, and by the time they get to the bag, the second they look up, the ball is on its way. That's a danger for the first baseman during all these violent shifts we use.
You know who used to have a lot of fun with this before even all the shifts was Scott Rowland. He was with the Cardinals and Tino Martinez was playing first. He would catch the ground ball and Tino's hustling to the bag because he's already letting it go. Tino would turn around and the ball's there chest high.
Right.
And it was a joke for Scott Rowland all the time to be able to do that.
Now, Rizzo's about 20 or so feet away from first base, and Hoskins, of course, is 90 feet away. So he should generally win that race, and now he'll obviously move back. That Hoskins has been walked, and Realmuto comes up. See if a leadoff walk comes back to haunt Quintana. Remember the offseason, the Realmuto sweepstakes became a real big story around baseball. Whether the Marlins were going to trade him, what was it going to take for them to trade him? And so many teams had serious interest in him.
And like every team in the division had serious interest in him.
This is why, I mean, last night he hits that 10th inning homer, but I mentioned just the all-around game that he had. There was a big tag play in the 5th inning, scored the tying run in the 6th inning, athletically gifted.
He's the most athletic catcher in the game today, and I think he's the best catcher in the game today. The way he runs, the way he throws, the pop time is ridiculous, and the offensive numbers.
Is there a list?
No, but I have a list of the greatest throwing catchers I've ever seen, since we have 2 great ones in this game. Johnny Bench.
There we go.
Pudge Rodriguez.
Russell, Descalso. That's the speed of Realmuto. And he prevents a double play. Wasn't the smoothest exchange there between Russell and Descalso, but you add that to the speed of Realmuto and you're going to have a man on first.
How many catchers don't ground into a double play on this ball?
Maybe the 2 that are here.
Yeah, he gets down the line really well. Pure athlete. Did not catch in high school, and I think this is the benefits that he has, and he still has a set of fresh legs underneath him.
And I saw him a couple springs ago, and he was carrying his fielder's glove around with him in spring training. Here's a catcher carrying, I've never seen that, a fielder's glove. I asked him, what's that for? He said, it's just a reminder that I used to be an infielder, and having been an infielder, it helps me as a catcher, hands, all that. Always thinking that way. So I had Bench, Pudge Rodriguez, Benito Santiago as the 3 best throwing catchers that I've ever seen. Eddie?
I'm with you. I'm not going to disagree at all with you. You said it to me. You asked me this morning, and I stayed quiet because those would have been my 3. I grew up watching Johnny Bench in Cincinnati. Pudge Rodriguez was a teammate of mine in American Legion ball. He threw a ball over to third base on a steal, and I thought it was going to short hop, and instead almost broke my thumb, and I said, that's the last of me in the infield, and I went to the outfield.
Pudge used to use this really small catcher's mitt because his hands were so good that when he reached in to get the ball to throw to second, say on a steal attempt, he wanted to be able to find it quickly, and he could in a smaller catcher's mitt.
Snap throw down, and that's a pretty quick one there from Contreras. But Realmuto gets back.
And another arm that is really good is Martin Maldonado with the Kansas City Royals. This is what Contreras is known for, trying to pick off guys. And if he throws it away, that's part of his game. He's not afraid to throw it over at any moment.
I think the guy that was involved in the trade too is another arm that people in baseball will tell you could eventually be one of the best. That's Jorge Alfaro, who catches now for the Marlins. You haven't seen him throw.
Oh, tremendous throw.
He was traded for JT.
That's my point.
And a tremendous athlete too. Yes.
All right, back to our guns, hired guns in the studio. That's Kevin and Dougie.
Ravi, the Red Sox have just owned the Blue Jays since the start of last season. They're 17-5, but Toronto, little power shot back-to-back, Tellez and Grichuk.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Rowdy Tellez to get his WWE debut here, but starts it off left-handed, nice, keeping it fair.
Second time the Jays go back-to-back this season. They've opened up a 3-0 lead now in the bottom of the fourth on Boston.
Eduardo Rodriguez gives those up.
So Scott Kingery has a twin brother, which is kind of cool. We had two Hall of Famers who had a twin. Ed Rush, who pitched 1 million years ago, and Richie Ashburn had a twin sister. Those are the two Hall of Famers. I'm not saying Scott Kingery is going to be in the Hall of Fame. We always used to joke that if Jose Canseco gets in, he had a twin. We used to joke that he should just bat instead of his brother when they were on the team at the same time. That way Jose could get 8 at-bats in a game.
Runner goes. That's Realmuto. Here's Contreras' throw down. Not in time. Gets away. And look at the catcher stealing 2 bags. Realmuto goes to third. They'll give the error to Contreras. And Realmuto has moved to third with 2 down.
Talk about going first move. That's exactly what JT Realmuto did there. This is what he brings to the game, something different. Not only behind the plate with the bat, but also on the bases.
What a weapon.
A lot of rumors in January going around. A lot of teams wanted JT Realmuto. And the Dodgers were one of those teams. Looking back, obviously, now we know what Bellinger has been able to do. But at that time in January, Cody Bellinger for JT Realmuto, straight up, would that been a deal, or would more had to have been put in from the Dodgers standpoint to get Realmuto to the Marlins?
Look, I love JT Realmuto, but I would not have traded Cody Bellinger even up just because of the age difference between the two looking forward.
I would think that more would have had to be in the deal from the Dodgers.
Absolutely.
Because Bellinger at that point was the platoon player in the World Series, which seemingly now made no sense. And I think now they're not doing it, but I think then in the winter, I think it's a different conversation.
And granted, Cody Bellinger, you said the age difference, 23 years of age compared, but JT Realmuto, his age, remember, he has not been catching his entire life, so those knees, those legs are fresh, and I think he's only getting better. And the numbers that he put up at Marlins Park, tough hitters ballpark, talk about what he would have done in another ballpark. It's pretty interesting. I think the Phillies are reaping the rewards right now from their pitching staff with this guy.
This is how he ranks this season. Top 3 in all those categories as far as catchers go. And again, he impacted the game in such a big way in so many varied ways last night. He may do it again now. This one is ripped to center, spun around out there, but making the catch is Albert Almora.
Ravi, that's a great defensive center fielder there, and even he struggled a bit, just showing what this ballpark can do to you, especially when the wind blows.
Take it to break. Big time Timmy Jim.
This is my imagination. This is how it looks and sounds.
Guys, how frustrating is it to find a great pair of jeans? They never have the right color, style, or size. Too tight here, too loose there, too long here. I have the perfect solution for you. M. Taylor Custom Jeans. Stop spending hours trying stuff on. Download the free M. Taylor app on iOS or Android. Standard jeans use just 2 measurements. M. Taylor Custom Jeans use 7 different measurements to give you the perfect fit. Design your own custom jeans for just $79. Choose from hundreds of styles, delivered right to your door. Download the M. Taylor app. M-Tailor measures you digitally and is 20% more accurate than a professional tailor, all from home.
It was so easy to be measured by M-Tailor. It took less than 30 seconds. This is definitely my favorite pair of jeans. They fit perfectly.
To get custom jeans, shirts, or suits, your phone can measure you right now with free shipping and a money-back guarantee at just $79. Get your new favorite pair of jeans today. M-Tailor, available now on the Apple App Store, Android, and mtailor.com.
It's race time in Monaco.
The Monaco Grand Prix, presented by Mothers Polish. Sunday at 9 a.m. on ESPN with an encore on ABC.
Can you convince my dad to ditch his expensive wireless plan?
Well, right now you can get 4 lines for $100 a month.
Tell him I want unlimited gigs.
No problem.
Mobile hotspot?
Done.
How about this brand new phone?
Free.
I've always liked free.
Ready to switch?
Sure.
Switch to Boost and get 4 lines, each with unlimited gigs for $100 a month. Plus, get 4 free LG Stylo 4 phones. All on Boost's super reliable, super fast nationwide network. Boost makes it easy to switch. Switching makes it easy to save.
Kevin Duggan, studio. Neat story for the Marlins. Harold Ramirez, 24-year-old rookie, 8 years in the minors. Doug, that's his first career home run.
Yeah, nice job going the opposite field, but this is something he will never forget.
First Harold to homer in the big since Baines in 2000, and then Miguel Cabrera tying Robbie Alomar on the all-time hits list.
Yeah, Alomar, I mean, think about the company he's in, incredible.
62nd all-time, Ravi?
Yes, sir. Beltran and Chipper Jones next on the hit list for Miguel Cabrera. Bottom fourth here, Wrigley Field. Cubs 1, Phillies nothing. Addison Russell. The shortstop bats now. Javier Baez hurt himself over the weekend. He is available to pinch hit. Joe Madden told us before the game he was scheduled to give him a day off this week. He didn't play last night. Seems like a cautious move tonight. This was the injury on Sunday, happened during our Sunday night baseball game. A ground ball that he charged, and it's that right foot right there that he kind of twisted and tweaked, trying to throw out Jeremy Hellickson. Big step there, Eddie, and then you can watch that kind of ankle roll a little bit oddly. But Joe said it doesn't appear to be a big deal. Kingery, center field, there to make the play, and as athletic as there is a player on the Phillies, Kingery is a terrific story in himself. This was the kid at center field who was not drafted by any college. He was not recruited, didn't get any scholarships anywhere. Finally, he had a friend of a friend at the University of Arizona who invited him to be a preferred walk-on. And then he played 30 games as a freshman. He killed it as a sophomore. Then they moved him from center field to second base as a junior. He killed it. And to his credit, he has played himself into a big-time contract and a terrific player for the Phillies. Signed a 6-year, $24 million deal. But, you know, mom and dad, for anybody that's got a boy or girl that's doing anything and they don't get the attention perhaps that you think they deserve, he kept pushing and pushing and pushing. And what a phenomenal story he's turned out to be. And you hear Gabe Kapler talk about him. He doesn't dive too deep into the twin brother thing that Tim was talking about, but he loves everything about Kingery. And he'll play every single position for you.
Talk about grit. That's what this kid has. Not taking no for an answer, seizing the opportunity. Those are the kind of players that organizations love to have. And when they succeed and they get to this level, they reward you. And last year they rewarded him in spring training.
But great inspiration for the analytic world, or hey, the showcases. Like, no one knew about him enough to say he's going to be a great player, and here he is, an everyday utility guy at the major leagues.
And he played in the Little League World Series, and he told me he didn't even get a hit in the Little League World Series because he was so much smaller than everyone else, but he persevered. And just another reminder, a small guy can grow a little and become a big leaguer like this kid.
I'm just really into the Kingery story, and sometimes you fly under the radar and then all of a sudden you appear and you're not leaving.
And he's best served on this team when he could play third one day, shortstop second the next, center field the next. That's how he's best served. But if Odubel Herrera struggles in center as he has a little bit lately, he could play there on an extended basis.
There's Odubel Herrera. And for the Phillies, they know what he's capable of doing. Right now, he's just not doing it for them consistently enough that he's going to play. The appeal on that Schwarber check. But it's a ball 4. Schwarber goes down to first with 2 outs. Which also was part of a conversation with Joe Madden today. The check, swing, or check. You were big into sort of defining that with Joe, and you seem to know that was going to light a fire underneath him.
Well, Bobby Valentine used to scream about this all the time.
Not in the rule book.
It's not in the rule book.
Find it. Where is it?
We don't know if the word is he checked his swing, ED, or it's a check swing. Bobby was always.
Bryant rips this one down the line in left, and it is a fair ball. Rounding third and coming home, Schwarber. He's in. Ground rule double, I believe, is being called by the umpiring crew on the field.
Okay, so here the umpires are going to get together and determine if Kyle Schwarber could have scored on this play. And they have the right to say, well, he was going to score anyway. So this is an automatic 2 bases depending what happened to this ball.
And you can tell by just the look of the camera there and our location behind home plate. Now you get a really good look at it. We could not see where the ball ended up.
You can see McCutchen when he threw it in. He saw that it was a ground rule double because I'm looking from this angle. We can't see the corner. So I wondered why Andrew McCutchen did not throw that in as aggressively as he should have.
Did a fan hit it?
It must have been. Must have either hit the foul pole or the foul pole on the bounce. But he immediately knew that it was a ground rule double. But this is up to the umpires right now, and Rick Carapazza is the one that's doing most of the talking.
There's a difference between a ground rule double and an automatic double, which bounces over the fence.
Oh, that hit the top wall over the wall.
They have to put the runner back at third then. And what makes the difference here is because of 2 outs, Schwarber.
No, he's saying that Schwarber scored. They gave them the run.
I'm Gabe Capper. I come out.
He is.
I want to know this explanation because that ball kept rolling out there. If it stays in, I don't believe Schwarber scores that easy.
So to repeat, when a ball bounces over a fence, it becomes an automatic double, 2 bases only. When it doesn't bounce over the fence, it's up to the umpires to determine could he have scored from first on that play. If they determine he could have, then that is not a ground rule double. That's something else.
And because it rolled on the fence for a while, that's why I think he wouldn't have scored. I do not believe he would have.
And this is why, for people that don't get a chance to see it.
So they're going to review it now.
This is why the umpires talk to the managers before the game to go over all the ground rules.
And this ballpark is the perfect example of why you go over the ground rules, because it's got ivy on the walls. If the ball gets caught up in the ivy, the umpires have.
But it goes over right there. Now it keeps rolling. See, now it's dead. Now you have to find out where Schwarber was at the moment that it hit that point right there.
And you can see that Joe Madden has also now moved onto the field. And they're all looking out towards the big screen in left field where the replay is being shown. And you can see it there. So yes, the call is in fact under review. Schwarber's got a helmet and he's moved back towards third base.
Well, none of the umpires are actually
have the headset on.
have the headsets on, so they're not communicating with New York. Schwarber has the helmet back at third.
Right there, so Schwarber is between second and third.
There's no way he would have scored. I think what confused everyone was Andrew McCutchen did not throw the ball as aggressively in. Now you wonder, after this discussion is over, if the Phillies will pitch to Anthony Rizzo or just give him the walk and pitch Contreras.
So they overturned the original call, which was to allow Schwarber to score. And that's why Joe is out there pleading his case. The official score has told our crew that it's a ground rule double, and the runner goes back to third base. Would not have scored. I guess the question I don't know the answer to was, is this even now a question where the umpires could make a decision, or because it was ruled dead, ground rule double, he was between second and third automatically? We're not even discussing where he would end up. He's just going to third base. It's certainly hard to argue that he was a guaranteed run when that ball, you'll see it bounce up and hit the wall now, that he was going to automatically score because McCutchen went over and picked it up.
I think this is a big turning point in the game because Rizzo's up, second and third, 2 outs. They're pitching to him with first base open.
First pitch, strike one. We'll continue to try to get further clarification on the decision there to move Schwarber back to third base. So no run in, still 1-0 Cubs, and Rizzo behind 0-1 with 2 on. A walk and a fly out to center for Rizzo. Nasty pitch there, 0-2.
Pretty off-speed pitch. Now to try to get Anthony Rizzo to chase. A lot of pressure on Realmuto to be able to block any pitch in the dirt.
Look how much Rizzo is choked up here.
Chases one in the dirt. That'll do it. They'll leave runners at second and third. Hold on a second. Hold on. That ball may have bounced in the dirt, and Rizzo's going to get another life. Did not go directly into Realmuto's glove. Now home plate umpire is going to get another conversation with Gabe Kapler.
Anthony Rizzo, I thought, was about to go run to first base after he swung. The ball did hit dirt first. Good slider down.
And he did tip it.
He did tip it.
He tipped it.
Very good call by Hunter Wendelstein. But again, this is Anthony Rizzo. Chokes up on the bat with 2 strikes. He'll sacrifice power for contact.
So again, the graphic looks a little different now. There are still runners at second and third. There are 2 outs. And another 0-2. Rizzo center field. Kingery under it. Makes the play, and that will do it.
Scott Kingery made that catch, but that was tricky. He got fooled momentarily.
Beautiful, isn't it? Just wait till you get to the register. Introducing new lower prices on produce. Attaboy.
And Doug.
Exactly. Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance, so you only pay for what you need.
Nice. But, what's up with your partner?
Oh, we just spend all day telling everyone how we customize car insurance because no two people are alike, so. Limu gets a little confused when he sees another bird that looks exactly like him. Yeah. He'll figure it out. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Each day, Justin chooses to walk. At work and after work. He does it all with Dr. Scholl's. Only Dr. Scholl's has massaging gel insoles that provide all-day comfort to keep him feeling more energized. Dr. Scholl's, born to move.
Pain thinks it can overpower you, overwhelm you. It obviously doesn't know you. Icy hot. Icy to dull, hot to relax. Rise from pain. Icy hot.
Captain. Captain.
Captain.
Captain.
Captain.
Captain.
Captain?
What's going on up here?
Can't see what it is yet.
What is that? That's a Blazer? It's a Chevy Blazer?
Oh, this is dope.
It's beautiful.
I love the lights. Oh man, it's got a mean face on it.
It looks like a piece of candy.
Look at the interior. This is nice.
This is my sexy mom car.
I would feel like a cool dad.
It's just really chic.
Love this.
It's gorgeous.
I would pull up in this in a heartbeat. I want one of these.
That is sharp.
The all-new Chevy Blazer speaks for itself.
I don't know who they got to design this, but give them a cookie and a star.
Monaco Grand Prix presented by Mother's Polish. Sunday at 9 a.m. on ESPN with an encore on ABC.
Kevin Connors, Doug Glanville in studio. The guys have talked about the number of great young players in the game today. Doug, the list may start with Ronald Acuna.
Well, Acuna, 21 years old, showing power, discipline, and a bright future.
Braves and Giants from San Francisco comes your way 9:30 Eastern on ESPN2. Ravi?
All right, guys, thank you very much. Back here, fifth inning now. Quintana just spent 13 minutes on the bench on a cold night. We'll see if it has any impact, but good start for him as he gets ahead of Michael Franco.
The Braves have really taken off since Acuna Jr. returned to the leadoff spot, and you said right from the start, keep him there, right?
I was surprised because last year that was their success. You add Austin Riley to it. He's 9 for 22. 3 home runs, 6 RBIs in his first 6 major league games. And then Freddie Freeman, the last 11 games, he's also turned it on. So top half of the order is doing very, very good for the Atlanta Braves.
And they're pitching. Are you kidding me? I mean, Soroka doesn't give up 2 runs a game.
7 starts, 1
That's
run,
nuts.
or 0 runs to start a season.
1 and 2. I think the whole conversation about Craig Kimbrell becomes really interesting because without any knowledge of where he's going or what he's doing, it's been eerily quiet on that front. You know the Braves, you know the Cubs, you know so many teams that are currently in contention as this one sends Almora back to the track would love and need a guy like that at the back end. So where does he end up?
Well, he's not going anywhere till the draft.
Right.
And then with the draft pick compensation out of the picture, he could sign with the Braves.
Right.
He could sign with the Phillies. He could sign with a whole bunch of other teams that could really use him. The Cubs.
Cubs could use him. A lot of teams could use him. It's been quiet. Really quiet. Zach Eflin bats, 5th inning, 1 down. Top of the K zone, but called the ball 2-0 to the pitcher, who flew out on a really good catch by Jason Hayward in the 3rd inning.
The But to Eddie's point earlier, look how dark it is now that it's gotten darker. Look how dark it is behind Albert Almora in center field compared to even left field and right field. It's much darker out there.
No doubt. Eflin swings and misses. No, there's no doubt it's darker behind the center fielder Almora.
And Scott Kingery may have a play in that dark area tonight, having basically never played center field here before, and that's a tricky spot.
Look out. Spinner up the middle. Russell can't get it, and the pitcher, Zach Eflin, delivers. On a 2-2 count, he's aboard with a single. Hey, watch every out-of-market regular season game live or on demand. MLB.tv. Your subscription includes MLB at Bat Premium. It allows you to stream live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. So Eflin's down there at first. He had both patella tendons operated on in consecutive months. He had his right knee and his left knee in August and September of 2016. One is enough. Wow. He had both in consecutive months. Strike one to McCutchen.
That's what Jose Quintana does to you. He's been pitching McCutchen hard in for the first couple at bats, and all of a sudden throws him a changeup. First pitch outside corner. Strike one. So he goes back in.
Contreras, he's got a beat on it. And the second out.
This is where Quintana's been so good this year. He recognizes the adjustments being made to him, and then he makes the adjustment back. That's what smart pitchers do, and he's learning his craft even more every day.
Our pitching analyst that helps us all out sort of suggested that earlier today in an email to all of us, just how Quintana can think along with the hitter. We're always grateful for the work of our friend Dave Swanson back in Bristol. Strike one. And just when you think you figured out Quintana and where he's going to go, he'll change up on you.
Going back inside. Well, Contreras just jumped around back there. Interesting, a catcher jumping around with no runner at second base. Usually see it with runners at second base. But Contreras, he's one of those guys that just loves to stay busy behind the plate.
'88th pitch of the night in the dirt. Phillies have had 7 runners on base tonight. They're 0 for 7. One is down, and it's 2-2. Just talked about Craig Kimbrell, the Cubs bullpen. Pedro Strop threw from a mound for the first time since he was put on the IL with a hamstring injury, so he's going to throw again later this week. Doesn't look like Brandon Morrow is going to come back until at least July. Beaten into the ground. Bryant backs up. He'll flip to second, and that's where they will get Eflin. And that'll do it. 4.5 in the books as we continue from Wrigley on a Tuesday night.
This is Jerry. Jerry has a membership to this gym, but he's not using it. And he has subscriptions to a music service he doesn't listen to and 5 streaming video services he doesn't watch. This is Jerry learning that he's still paying for this stuff he's not using. He's seeing his recurring payments in Control Tower in the Wells Fargo mobile app. This is Jerry canceling a few things. Booyah. This is Jerry, all set to watch the next game. This is Wells Fargo.
It's either the assurance of a 165-point certification process, or it isn't. It's either testing an array of advanced safety systems, or it isn't. It's either the peace of mind of a standard 5-year unlimited mileage warranty, or it isn't. For those who never settle, it's either Mercedes-Benz Certified Pre-Owned, or it isn't. The Mercedes-Benz Certified Pre-Owned Sales Event, now through May 31st, only at your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer.
It was a tough call, but our new senior VP goes to Mike.
This wasn't the first time Claire had been passed up for the promotion. But it would be the last time. Upload your resume on Indeed.
Your relationship with breakfast is filled with compromises. In fact, your love's grown cold. But breakfast wants you back. With Just Crack an Egg, you bring the egg, we bring the Ore-Ida potatoes, chopped veggies, melty cheese, and hearty meat for a hot scramble ready in less than 2 minutes. Try Just Crack an Egg to get those warm, fuzzy feelings again. Take breakfast back. Find it in the egg aisle.
Hi, my name is Rick, but everyone calls me the Rick. When I'm on the treadmill, I watch ESPN Plus on my phone. It's $4.99 a month, and you get a free trial for 7 days. Personally, if it is free, I will try it. Guys, this is not good for my knees.
We're back. Major League Baseball on ESPN. The telecast tonight is presented by USAA.
Talk about the fun part of the game. Jose Contreras behind the plate, letting Chris Bryant know, here comes the ground ball. Be ready. Why? He asked for the pitch. He points right at him. Okay, here we go. He's on his toes, always expecting the ball hit to you, but at that moment, when your catcher tells you it's coming, most often than not, it is. We see a lot of Yadier Molina doing that with his infielders. Contreras now doing it with Chris Bryant.
And that's based on the pitch that's coming,
based on the scouting report pitch and the swing path that he's seen from the hitter.
Good stuff from Eduardo as Contreras steps in for his pitch, swings. Franco knocked it down, fires to first. Did Hoskins hold the bag? He did. Boy, Michael Franco threw a seed over there.
That was a seed and great footwork at first base. You have to know where the runner is. Bobbles it here, doesn't panic, sees it, knows he has enough arm strength, but the footwork of keeping that right foot on the bag for Rhys Hoskins, feeling comfortable at his natural position at first base. Franco happy.
They are so much better defensively than they were last year, and in part because Hoskins is at first base, not left field. I don't think that play is made last year without Rhys Hoskins at first base.
And again, among third basemen, he's got the highest fielding percentage, .991. Michael Franco, and we see the arm that he showed off there. So Contreras, good runner, retired. Now Hayward a walk, and he flew out to right. I learned the Daily Wager, which is the show that we now do, which has to do with sports gambling and obviously the proliferation of that. But in baseball, one of the ways that they break the game down is they will basically take odds on the first 5 innings. You know, when the starter is on the mound, they don't dive too deep into bullpens because of the unpredictability of the bullpen. And this is a great game where, as well as Quintana and Eflin are pitching, it becomes a bit of a toss-up when both of those guys come out, because the bullpens, for the most part around baseball, are not those lockdown bullpens that you have seen in the past. There's a few teams that are really deep. I mean, the Yankees certainly come to mind, but that's one of the ways it was brought to my attention that wagering is done on baseball games, just first 5 innings.
Well, the bullpens get so much work today.
Yeah.
It's only a matter of time before they wear down and they start to become vulnerable. It's just happened a little bit earlier this year than normal.
So a couple of ground balls here from Eflin moving into the 5th inning. 2 down for Albert Almora.
Continue on that subject. I mean, you look at the Cubs and Steve Cishek, what he's been able to do. He's been phenomenal as far as being able to go out there and shut down, give you shutdown innings. 12 1/3 consecutive scoreless innings. But you need more than just one guy.
And remember, for the trade deadline, at the trade deadline last year, more relievers moved than any other position. The same thing will happen this year because relievers help you win down the stretch and in the postseason. They help you win all season with as much as we use them. There's great value in them if you can keep them fresh. That's the hard part.
Now, how different will it be this season with the one trade deadline?
Well, the GMs I've spoken to say there's going to be a ton of action before July 31st, more than usual, knowing you don't have August to deal.
Almora gone. 1-2-3 inning, and that guy Bryce Harper coming up. He's 0 for 2 in a 1-zip game.
At touchofmodern.com, things you'd never think possible are totally attainable. The shoes are handmade, the furniture glows, the drones fly themselves. And that's just the beginning. Our relentless pursuit of the highest quality in watches, fashion, tech, and home are available all in one place. touchofmodern.com. We bring something new and unexpected to your life every day. So go to touchofmodern.com and be the first to discover all the novel and noteworthy items the world has to offer.
Hey, I'm Michael Torpy, host of True TV's Paid Off. Instead of telling you it's a game show that helps pay off student debt, we're going to show you. What other philosopher says the unexamined life is not worth living? Socrates. You just... We are paying off your full debt.
This season, you can play from home.
That is it! That is it!
By calling into the live lightning round.
Call in live for a chance to start chipping away at your student debt.
Paid Off. New tonight at 10.
Experience the epic adventure that's fun for the entire family.
Wow. It's you and me, bud. Always.
How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World. Own it now on Blu-ray, DVD, and digital.
Tonight, you landed enough Wyndham Rewards points to land in that oh-so-alluring place in your screensaver.
See you soon, Hammock.
Jealous. Tonight, La Quinta. Tomorrow, you triumph.
Can you convince my dad to ditch his expensive wireless plan? Well, right now, you can get 4 lines for $100 a month.
Tell him I want unlimited gigs.
No problem.
Mobile hotspot?
Done.
How about this brand new phone?
Free.
I've always liked free.
Ready to switch?
Sure.
Switch to Boost and get 4 lines, each with unlimited gigs for $100 a month. Plus, get 4 free LG Stylo 4 phones. All on Boost's super reliable, super fast nationwide network. Boost makes it easy to switch. Switching makes it easy to save.
Bryce Harper, he struggled with pitches up in the zone, and one of the big reasons, see on the left, 2015, that was his MVP year. Look at the elbow, not to be seen. This is the same shot from Citi Field. Look on the right-hand side, this is this season. The elbow is up, and when it peaks up, he has to bring it through the zone, tight to the body, and there's a big hole up in the zone. That's created a lot of inconsistencies in his contact and exit velocity. Where down in the zone, he is money. But up, that's struggle for him. This was the first inning. Pitch right up, a little bit up in the zone, middle up. See the elbow where it's at. Then bringing it there, he's late on pitches up in the zone.